the Institut de France, the Académie Française, the Bibliothèque Mazarin are the French elite who decide what are words and what are not words. They're the protector of arts, literature and science, and Verlaine. 5 very prestigious academies. In their own eyes, they certainly are. On the River Seine now, Le Pont des Arts is a beautiful cast-iron footbridge. The one that you always see in films. You can cross to the Louvre. In the summer there's all the painters and musicians as well as the booksellers of the left bank. The bridge for lovers no longer allows couples to leave a lock attached to the railings. Locks are heavy. It's an old bridge. I know, it could be supported just by love alone, couldn't it? This bridge in the centre of Paris. You could just go and see nice romantic stuff in Paris. Eugène Delacroix in Place Furstenberg, a romantic painter. Fairly newly restored the Monnaie de Paris, where coins were made. Now includes a 3 Michelin star restaurant, Guy Savoy. There is also a cafe in the courtyard. How many Michelin star restaurants are there in the world? 250,000 with 1 Michelin star, 500 restaurants with 2 Michelin stars, and around 150 with 3 Michelin stars. This can change every year. 3 Michelin stars, there's 9 restaurants in Britain that have got that. There are 29 3 Michelin star restaurants in France. 10 of those are in Paris. Well, there's got to be one more than the whole of Britain, doesn't there? Alain Ducasse, Palazzo Athénée. There's a focus on seafood, dishes, John Dory, there's a fish, caramelised citrus. How you do that, I don't know. Rosemary scented lamb, had that on Sunday. But not amongst crystal chandeliers. It's in the 8th arrondissement, with a view of the Eiffel Tower, of course. Arpège is in the 7th arrondissement. Alain Passard serves vegetable-centric, organic. On the left bank of the 6th arrondissement, in a beautiful 18th century building, there's Guy Savoy, a creative, unique gastronomic experience. Again, a view of the Seine and the Eiffel Tower, with your artichoke soup with black truffle or sea scallops with caviar. Le Bristol, Epicurie in the Bristol Hotel. Luxurious environment, classic French food with a contemporary twist. Breast chicken really could go with black truffle. Grand Marnier soufflé. That must be so light it goes right up your nose. If you fancy some mille-feuille with bourbon, vanilla and Madagascar chocolate, Chef Jocelyn Hilland is the one for you at Le Maurice. There's an elegant restaurant in the Marais, the Jewish quarter, the Latin quarter, whatever we're calling it. L'Ambroisie, game and seafood is the focus. Foie gras terrine, roasted pigeon, chocolate soufflé. Exceptional service. What makes for exquisite atmosphere, I'm not too sure. The Le Cinq 3-star restaurant is located in the Four Seasons Hotel, the George V, a modern take on traditional classic French cuisine. Roasted pigeon again, there's not many food miles on that, it's from right outside the door. With foie gras and cherry, sea bass with black truffle and Grand Marnier soufflé seems to be the thing these days. I'll keep a lookout for that when I go for Marks and Spencer's or Waitrose dine-in for 2. Special offers. The 9 in the UK you want to hear about, don't you? There's the Connaught, the Dorchester, the Sketch, the Lecture Room and Library, Core by Claire Smith, the Ledbury, and Restaurant Gordon Ramsay. Perfectly judged flavour contrasts and a lightness of touch. Perhaps that comes from Matt Abbé, his partner. Lobster ravioli, roast veal sweetbread. It's in Chelsea. Yes, and all the others have been in London. Bray, on the banks of the Thames between Maidenhead, Slough and Windsor, hosts the Waterside Inn and the Fat Duck. A sensorium of journey through the mind that the latter is, gathering sensory impressions as we eat and turn them into memories. Playful, multi-sensory cooking. Theatrical, charming, harmonious textures and flavours. In the Lake District, there's La Enclume. Produce is mostly from the farm. 12 acres of it, not just a garden. and there's bedrooms spread about the village of Cartmel. But 2 of those 3 outside London are French restaurants, cuisine-wise, whether they're in a northern smithy or not. Saint-Tropez has a 3 Michelin star restaurant, you won't be surprised to hear. Saint-Martin-de-Belleville also does. René and Maxime Milieu. I used to see a big sign for it and popped by one time on my way up to VT. That's Val Thorens, to those in the know, the highest mass-piste ski resort. I was told to try and make an appointment by phone. Reims has got a 3 Michelin star restaurant. Nancy has Le Clos de Sens. They also have a Michelin Green Star, where their gardens are managed in line with permaculture philosophy. Courchevel, again in the Three Valleys, has Le 1947 Cheval Blanc. Heading to the south of France again, Cassis, Le Villa Madi, and naturally Le Louis XV, Alain Ducasse, Le Hôtel de Paris in Monaco. Near Pau, in the southwest, Eugénie-les-Bains, again at the seaside, at the tip of what's essentially an island between Nantes and La Rochelle. Le Herbordier is naturally enough called Le Marine. Much more in the middle of nowhere between Lyon and Clermont-Ferrand, there's another 3 Michelin star restaurant. In a place that seems to be called Ouches, between Narbonne and Perpignan, there's a very fancy auberge, the Michelin Green Star of the 3-star Michelin restaurant, that really is in the middle of nowhere between Valence and Clermont-Ferrand. Talks of strong ties forged between land and culture. Promotion of heritage, that's probably to do with there's a family of chefs involved. Chagny is a village outside of Beaune on the Côte d'Or. Wine route close to Chantenay. Meursault. Do you know these wine labels? Closer to Chalon-sur-Saône than Dijon. Maison La Meloise has 3 Michelin stars. Creative or modern? Classic French cuisine must be quite difficult. Do a 3 Michelin star restaurant, impressing the French at that level. A national park between Arles and Avignon helps. The Rhône and Saône does get labelled as a gastronomy road, but according to one team of reviewers, Paris is the centre of all gastronomy. Splash out and see what all the hype's about. But don't go all Gordon Ramsay when it comes to getting the bill. Moving on to shopping, Le Bon Marché, Rive Gauche, and the Grande Épicerie de Paris could be described as an upscale department store, or perhaps just a shopping mecca, full of upcoming and trendy brands, and food products from all around the world.
Now I see it was you and me. Don't you know that love is?
Writers, painters, sculptors, musicians, all came to
Can it be possible?
these cafés to work, converse, and find warmth and inspiration. You might have come across Jean-Paul Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir, Boris Vian, Julien Apollinaire, Albert Camus, and even Pablo Picasso. The mosaics and wall paintings of Brasserie Lip is what I'd go for. None of the 3 are cheap. But what is existentialism, you may ponder? As a philosophical theory or approach, it emphasises the existence of the individual person as a free and responsible agent, determining their own development through acts of the will. An existentialist believes that life is meaningless, but meaning can be created by the individual, rather than a nihilist that believes that life is meaningless and the only known truth is the existence of the self. For Camus,
Without you, life is just a never-ending emptiness.
For Camus, the purpose of existentialism is to overcome the absurdity of existence, for man to triumph over, which is almost an opposite to nihilism of there is no God, no heaven or hell, so stuff it, there can be no right or wrong. Friedrich Nietzsche was more of a nihilist. Life has no objective meaning. Life is just a very efficient way of moving energy around the universe. That's one of my own, not one of Camus or Sartre or Nietzsche. Humans as a dominant life form are just the most efficient way life, of redistributing energy around the universe. You can have that one, I haven't put copyright on it. If you are considering the nature of the human condition, why are we here and what's the meaning of life, I'll put it to you that your children have left home and you might be an existentialist. We are not here to complete someone's interpretation of God's plan. They are not God's representative on earth. They've got just a mental disorder.
C'est pas ma faute. Je culpabilise quand je regarde la vie des autres. Et si on détruisait ce qui tient dans nos mains, nos avions activés au moins jusqu'à demain. Mais à l'heure où on donne tous notre avis sur tout, aujourd'hui qu'est-ce qui est vrai?
You could just go and see nice romantic stuff in Paris. Eugène Delacroix in Place Furstenberg, a romantic painter, fairly newly restored the Monet de Paris, where coins were made, now includes a 3 Michelin star restaurant, Guy Savoy. There is also a cafe in the courtyard.
T'écoutes les notes en fois deux, mais quand on fait ça dure 10 minutes. T'as pas tant de choses à dire, je crois que tu veux juste qu'on t'écoute. Tu te demandes comment faisaient les gens avant pour organiser un date. Toi tu zoomes des heures sans rien faire derrière l'écran, et puis tu te sens bête.